Hello, everyone, and welcome to the UX Insider podcast, where we explore how user experience shapes the digital world, and sometimes even the real estate world. I'm your host, Rachel Thornton, a website user experience consultant, and today I'm diving solo into a fascinating topic that bridges real estate, finance, and digital content strategy. We're unpacking the blog Commercial Property 1031 Exchange, in-depth guide with Cara Conde, Indianapolis's best agent, published on caraconde.com. If you're an investor, a real estate professional, or just curious about tax-deferred strategies, this episode is for you. So grab a coffee and let's get started. First, let's set the stage. A 1031 exchange is a powerful tool for commercial property investors, and this blog does an incredible job breaking it down. The author introduces us to Cara Conde, who's positioned as Indianapolis's top commercial real estate agent. And I have to say, the blog makes a compelling case for why she's the go-to expert for 1031 exchanges. But before we get into Cara's role, let's talk about what a 1031 exchange actually is and why it's such a big deal. The blog kicks off with a section titled Understanding the Commercial Property 1031 Exchange in Depth, and I love how thorough it is. A 1031 exchange, named after Section 1031 of the IRS Code, lets you sell an investment property and reinvest the proceeds into another like-kind property without paying capital gains taxes right away. For commercial properties, like office buildings, retail centers, or warehouses, this is huge. Imagine you sell a property for a $1 million gain. Normally, you'd owe 15 to 20% in federal capital gains tax, plus 25% on depreciation recapture, and Indiana's 3.23% state tax. That could be $250,000 or more. With a 1031 exchange, you defer all of that, keeping your money working for you. What I appreciate here is how the blog explains the like-kind rule. It's not as strict as you might think. You can swap a parking lot for an apartment complex, as long as both are investment properties. The blog also outlines different types of exchanges: simultaneous, delayed, reverse, and improvement exchanges. For commercial deals, the delayed exchange is most common, where you sell first and have 180 days to buy a replacement property. This section is a goldmine for anyone new to the concept. And from a UX perspective, it's structured beautifully. Clear headings, concise explanations, and just enough detail to educate without overwhelming. Now, let's talk about why Indianapolis is such a great place for 1031 exchanges. Because the blog's next section, Why Indianapolis is a Prime Market for 1031 Exchanges, really shines here. Indianapolis is booming, and the blog highlights key drivers: job growth in tech and logistics, population increases, and infrastructure projects like the I-69 expansion. This creates a strong demand for commercial properties, from downtown offices to industrial spaces in Plainfield. The blog also points out Indy's affordability compared to coastal markets. For example, you might pay $150 per square foot in Indianapolis versus $400 in LA, with cap rates often above 6%. That's a dream for investors looking for cash flow. And the variety of neighborhoods, like Broad Ripple for mixed-use properties or Carmel for corporate hubs, makes it easy to find a like-kind replacement property. From a UX standpoint, this section is fantastic because it paints a vivid picture for the reader. It's not just data, it's a story about why Indianapolis is the place to invest, which keeps readers engaged. Let's move on to the meat of the blog. The 1031 exchange process, a comprehensive walkthrough. This is where things get practical. And I have to say, the step-by-step breakdown is incredibly well done. The process starts with strategic planning, figuring out your goals, like cash flow or diversification, and assembling a team, including a qualified intermediary or QI, to handle the funds. Then you list and sell your property, with the proceeds going straight to the QI to avoid tax issues. Here's where it gets tricky. You have 45 days to identify up to 3 replacement properties and 180 days to close the deal. The blog walks us through each step, identifying properties, doing due diligence, negotiating, and closing, while weaving in Cara Conde's expertise. For example, Cara helps clients source on- and off-market deals in Indianapolis, ensuring they meet the tight deadlines. There's even a hypothetical case. A client swaps a $1 million strip mall for a $1.5 million office building, deferring $200,000 in taxes. As a UX consultant, I love how this section uses a real-world example to make the process tangible. It's a classic storytelling technique that keeps readers invested. Next, The blog tackles advantages and risks of a commercial 1031 exchange. And this is where it gets balanced. The advantages are clear: tax deferral, the ability to trade up to a more valuable property, flexibility to diversify, and even estate planning benefits, like deferring taxes indefinitely until your heirs inherit with a stepped-up basis. But there are risks too. Missing the 45 or 180-day deadlines, overpaying for a replacement property, or getting tripped up by IRS rules. What's great here is how the blog positions Cara Conde as the solution to these risks. Her timeline management, market insight, and network of QIs and lenders help clients avoid pitfalls. From a UX perspective, this section builds trust. Readers see the challenges, but also the reassurance that Cara has it covered. Speaking of Cara, the section Why Cara Conde is the best choice for your 1031 exchange is where the blog really sells her expertise. With over a decade in commercial real estate, hypothetically of course, Cara has closed dozens of 1031 deals. She's described as a client-first agent who knows every Indianapolis submarket, from Keystone at the Crossing to Fountain Square. There's a great example. She helped a client trade a $2 million industrial site for a $3 million mixed-use building, navigating a tight 45-day window and saving $400,000 in taxes. As a UX consultant, I love how this section uses testimonials and case studies to build credibility. It's not just Cara's great, it's here's exactly how she's great, which is so effective for convincing readers to take action. The blog also includes a People Also Ask section, which is a UX dream. It answers common questions like, what types of commercial properties qualify? And what happens if I miss the deadlines? This is a brilliant way to address reader pain points and boost SEO. Google loves this format. For example, it explains that missing the 45-day identification period means you owe taxes immediately. But Cara's proactive planning prevents that. It's practical, reader-focused, and keeps you on the page longer. Finally, the conclusion ties it all together, recapping the power of 1031 exchanges and Indianapolis's market potential, with a strong call to action to contact Cara. From a UX perspective, the blog's structure is spot on. A clear table of contents, scannable headings, and actionable insights. It's a masterclass in making complex topics accessible. So what's my takeaway? If you're considering a 1031 exchange, this blog and Cara Conde are your go-to resources. And if you're a real estate professional, take note. This blog's user-friendly design and SEO optimization are a blueprint for your own content strategy. That's all for today's deep dive. If you enjoyed this episode, check out the blog on caraconde.com and let me know your thoughts on X. Don't forget to subscribe for more UX insights, and I'll see you next time on the UX Insider Podcast.